Welcome to the first Friday night podcast, Midnight Madness, Midnight Munchies. We'll come up with a name later, but it's the start of Washington high school football tonight and some monster games, monster matchups, and some great finishes. Let's start this by going down our the VarsityWA top 25 scoreboard. And we'll start right at the top when number one and Class 3A champion O'Dea goes down to Graham-Kapowsin 40-38 in Spanaway. Number two, Sumner, the 4A champ, loses at Lake Stevens 31-28. Bellevue defeats Bethel 35-21. Gonzaga Prep beats Ridgeline in their GSL opener 38-10. Chiawana played last night, beat the new school, Sageview, right down the road, 63-0. Eastside Catholic was in Utah, do not have a score. Mount Tahoma shuts out Yelm, 42-0 in Tacoma. Two-time defending 2A champ Anacortes beats Bainbridge, 55-7. Kennewick in the Tri-Cities and Randy Affolter handles Hanford, 35-7. Linden in the rivalry game up north beats Ferndale 38-8. Maybe a little bit of a shocker for Lincoln of Tacoma, ranked in 3A, loses against Franklin Pierce at home 38-29. Tumwater and Puyallup tonight playing at Spark Stadium. The Vikings win 25-19. Seattle Prep defeats Snohomish 21-14. Glacier Peak beats Juanita 41-2. Those five-time 1A champ Royal Knights, 68-0 over Kiona Benton. Enumclaw won on Thursday, beat Decatur, the 3A NPSL champ, 30-14. Lakes beats Auburn Riverside, 48-0. And number 25, Curtis, beats Mount Si in University Place, 38-14. Let's just start with the panel. What scores kind of catch your mind, Matt? Maybe two or three games here in week one.
Well, I'll tell you, I just think that just how close we were with all of those games from our top teams. I mean, seeing how and the coming down to the last possession in both the O'Dea Graham-Kapowsin and the Sumner Lake Stevens game, just great football, great non-league action. That's my observations right there. Another one from down here. Tri-Cities Prep with a 46-point win over 2B semifinalist Asotin, 53-7 over at Columbia Burbank. Tri-Cities Prep is making themselves a name that needs to be known this year.
How about you, Curls? And hey, I forgot to introduce my panel. Matt Evans from Evans Rankings is going to join us every Friday night. And championship 4A, retired coach, living in Eastern Washington, Eric Kurle from Graham-Kapowsin. Eric, what did you think about some of the scores that came across the ticker tonight?
I think going on some other ones that we weren't talking about, I think Curtis had a big win with beating them outside Kinko team, and you got Ording winning the Life Academy was a big game for them, and Puyallup with got blown out last year. The kids came back and played a great game tonight. It looked like they dominated or played at a high level tonight, and it looks like that program's going to be on the rise.
Yeah, I kind of want to piggyback on what Matt said. You know, you had two teams from the top 10 playing each other in two games tonight, and both games came down to the wire. I mean, sometimes these games just don't work out the way you expect them to. These games played out. You'll remember these games the rest of the season, even if it's in week one. And big wins for Lake Stevens at home. I know they put a lot in that game, a lot of prep to beat Sumner after what happened last year, and then obviously the rematch with GK at Art Crate and O'Dea. And speaking of the mighty Eagles, we're going to bring in a guy that I know Eric knows real well, the winning coach from Graham-Kapowsin, Jeff Logan, for a couple comments. Jeff, welcome to the show. I appreciate you hopping on.
Hey, thanks, Todd. Thanks for having me.
Let's just go right to it. You had the 34-17 lead in the fourth quarter. O'Dea scores 3 touchdowns to take the lead, and you give the ball back to your sophomore quarterback, 80 yards to go. Just kind of the mood on the sideline and the confidence level you had in AJ and that offense.
It's eerily similar, although I was south of the hemisphere for the last time kind of something like that happened when we won that game down in Vegas. I talked to AJ after the game and just talked to him about his poise and composure. I told him he's a little bit of the yin to my yang, because I'm a fiery competitor and AJ's a competitor, but he's so calm and he's so poised. We had every bit of belief. We walked down there as we were getting the kick return and we said, hey, if we told ourselves we were down 4 with the opportunity to go win it ourselves, we wouldn't have asked for anything else. And the kids stepped up, and I'm really proud of them.
I thought your young receiving core showed really well tonight. Can you talk about those guys and the way they performed? You don't have a significant senior in that core.
Yeah, they're young, but they're really, really talented. Part of the message to our group after the game was, I think the biggest thing to take away from that is the maturation process for our young group. Beating a team like that in a style like that, it makes you grow up exponentially quicker. They got a ton of talent, and the ceiling is theirs to go after. And we're excited to be able to throw them the ball and let them move in space.
Come on, Eric. I was going to leave you the last question. Come on, what do you got?
Hey, I really was impressed with the offensive line protection. I know there's some guys that were missing. I thought protection was just outstanding for that D line for O'Day, keeping them away from AJ, and then being able to get that momentum back after Mike kind of maybe dropped that ball, maybe did come off his fingers, and then go back to him, and he makes a play down the sideline. So I mean, that's what coaching's about, and Jeff does a great job of that. So he got his kids to believe, and they found a way to win that thing at the end. So Dave fought back to it too, give them all that too. Monty found a way, and they got on a roll, and a little momentum too for a while, and started taking it to GK a little bit up front, but GK found a way at the end. So it was impressive win.
Jeff, do you want to answer to any of that? There's a question in there. The coach
Yeah, I'll answer the bit about the offensive line. Our offensive line, and really our defensive line too, because so many of them go both ways. They are so hungry to prove that it's not just about AJ and Case and Jace and the skill kids that we got. They are so excited and chomping at the bit to show that this team is every bit as talented up front as it is at the skill positions. The kids have been busting their ass all off season. They're ready to go. We're going to continue to get healthier. We're going to get some guys back, and they're young. We got one senior on the offensive line, another one's rotating in for us. So the future is bright for them, but they've put in a lot of time, work, and effort into what they're doing, and I'm proud and glad to see that their efforts paid off tonight.
That's Jeff Logan, Graham-Kapowsin coach, joining us. Coach, thanks. Congratulations on the big win, and we'll see you here in the future.
Yeah, sounds good, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Okay, guys, let's finish this up. Let's get one hot take from each of us. We'll start with you, Matt. What's a big impression from week 1 on some of the things that you monitored?
My big impression is looking at the 2A ranks. I'm looking at last year's semifinalists, and I'm thinking that only 2 of them at most make it back to the semifinals. I'm looking at North Kitsap playing really good football tonight. I'm looking at Franklin Pierce playing really good football tonight. I think that there's plenty of quality up there that I think that we're going to see some new blood there in the semifinals this year.
Eric, what hit you about tonight?
Well, I really see a lot of parity in the 4A football. You got Lake Stevens, Sumner, GK, Puyallup. They're just really, really similar with lots of talent. I feel like there's going to be a lot of great football games that are going to go down the wire like we saw today. We were lucky to just see impressive football tonight in all those games.
Yeah, Eric, I want to stay in the 4A ranks. Coming into the season, I kind of thought that there was a big 5. And Lake Stevens, when they put they put a lot in that preparation to beat Sumner. I think we can all agree they're a viable state contender here in 2025. But coming into the preseason, I kind of thought there was the big 5 in 4A, and that would be defending champs Sumner, Camas, Chiawana, Gonzaga Prep. I got to throw I got to throw Graham-Kapowsin into that after tonight. They showed me a lot. They were a little shorthanded on the defensive line. Did a great job against the run game of O'Day and Uriah Stringfield, and those skill position guys that they have on the perimeter for AJ are special, and I think they're going to be a handful for anybody in the 4A SPSL. Well, thank you for tuning in to our inaugural Midnight Madness Football Friday podcast. Eric Kurle, Matt Evans, and I'm Todd Milles. We'll see you next week.